Hey guys, Sully here. It is Wednesday. I hope you're having a fabulous week so far. So last 2 days we finished doing, or we were doing the blocking notation, the lights, the sounds, all that kind of jazz um, for Hunk Junior, which is our make-believe show that we are doing in this Stage Manager handbook. So today I'm going to start going over the forms and sort of walking you through what I want. So, in no particular order in terms of what you're doing in your book, because remember, you can organize it however you want. I'm just going to go in the order that I've got the actual things themselves. So, here we go. The first one is that accident report. So we went over one all together. If you filled that one out, awesome. That one's fine. If you didn't, let's go over it real quick because I know not everybody had their stage management handbook at that point. So here we go. Production is Hunk Junior. The date, let's say that it's our December 22nd. So December 22nd is our date that this accident happens. By, you're the one writing out the form, so you're going to put your own name. Page, we're going to say 1 of 3 because what's happened is a set piece fell and it hurt 3 people. So you'll need an accident report for every person that was injured. Name of injured worker. We're going to use Daniel Radcliffe for this one because he's one of your people that you have the audition sheet for. So you use the birth date that is on his contact form, his audition form, the phone number that's on his contact form. You don't need to worry about social security number. Well, I think it's on the form, so go ahead and use it. We wouldn't in real life unless we were paying. Home address, that is on the form, so make sure you use that. Name of supervisor, that's me. So you would put Ian Sullivan because I was the director. Location where accident happened on the stage. Time and date of accident. Like I said, we're going to say that that was our December 22nd, and we're going to say it happened at 7:42 p.m. Okay, that's when the accident occurred. Description of accident. A stagehand moved the nest into place but forgot to lock it, causing the nest to fall over and hit 3 actors, including Daniel Radcliffe. Description of first aid given. Daniel was put in the recovery position on the ground, was given an ice pack for his head, and 911 was called because, again, it's a head injury, and we treat head injuries very seriously. Then you would put your signature right there, and then CC is carbon copy. These days it just really means copy. So you would copy me, so Ian Sullivan. You would copy Dr. Poole because he's the head of the school, so Dr. Sean Poole. And then you would put the school nurse, so Nurse Jennifer Brackett. Okay? So that would be the accident report. If you were to do an accident report for realsies at our school, that's exactly what it would look like. No, that's the one that you would turn in for me. Truth of the matter is, for the school, I would be doing one, but I might have you, fill this out to help me out because you're the stage manager. So there we go. That's the accident report. Crew call. So we talked about dates last time, and we talked about all of those different things that need to be on the schedule. So your crew call, you're going to need to put the production, which is Hunk Junior, the date, use today's date, by, that's you, and page, we can just say 1 of 1. I don't think we're going to need more than 1 call. So, make up a crew of 5 people. So 5 people are working on the crew. And so make them up. Billy, Bobby, Becky, Boris, and Belinda. There you go. And the time called, we're going to say this is for load in, which, as you may recall, load in is going to be I believe load-in was February 12th. So February 12th is when they will do load-in, and we're going to do load-in at noon. So time called 12 p.m. Department/assignment, they're all going to be, the department will be set, and the assignment will be load-in. Okay? And the call length, we're going to say will be 8 hours. Okay? So that is a crew call. And what you would then do is you would have them initial their names when they came in. Easy peasy. So then you can put their initials for whatever names you created in that little box and pretending that they signed in. So a crew call list in this instance is very much just kind of like the tech version of a sign-in sheet for the actors. All right. Crew call, this is more of a calendar setup one. You actually don't need this page, so get rid of it. Schedule. Now, we went through the schedule, and I told you you could do these however you wanted. You could do this one, or you could do this one, or you can use both. You will need this one you might actually be able to get away with, because if we start on the 14th, so you could have the week of the 14th, the week of the 21st, the week of the 28th, the week of the 4th of January. Where was I? I was at 14th, 28th, 4th, 11th, 18th, 25th, 1st, 8th, 15th. No, you'll still need another one of these. So I think I may have only put one in your thing, so you might need to make a copy or pencil out your own, or you can do that one and this one and use this one for the rest of February that you've got on your thing. So just to recap, the idea is that they are auditioning on December 14th and 15th. And those auditions are 6 to 9. We have callbacks from 6 to 9 on December 23rd and 24th. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. Take that again from the beginning. The auditions are December 14th and 15th, 6 to 9. The callbacks are December 16th and 17th, 6 to 9. The cast list will go up on the 18th. Our read-throughs, so our first rehearsals, will be December 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Okay, so that will be table work and read-throughs. Then the 24th and the 25th, we'll have off. And then the 28th, 29th, 30th, we will have rehearsal from 6 to 9. We will not have rehearsal the 31st or the 1st. That's New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Then we get into January. And the 4th through the 8th, we will have rehearsal 6 to 9. So basically, and then the 11th through the 15th, we'll have rehearsal 6 to 9. The 18th, we will not have rehearsal because that's Martin Luther King Day. So then the 19th through the 22nd, we will have rehearsal 6 to 9. January 25th through 29th, we'll have rehearsal 6 to 9. And then we get into February. The 1st through the 5th, we'll have rehearsal 6 to 9. The 8th through the 11th, we'll have rehearsal 6 to 9. But the 12th, the actors will not have rehearsal because that will be our load-in day, which will go from noon to 8. Okay, 8 hours worth of work. Then the 15th through the 17th of February will be rehearsal for the actors, 6 to 9. The 18th will be a dry tech, so the actors do not need to be there. That will be, we're going to say from 5:30 to 10:30. So a dry tech, 5:30 to 10:30, February 18th. Then the 19th will be a Q to Q, so everybody is called, crew and actors. And that will again be 5:30 to 10:30. And then the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th will be dress rehearsals, which will also be 5:30 to 10:30, everybody called. And then the 25th, 26th, and 27th will be our performance dates. And the curtain will be at 7, call time will be 5:30. Okay, so make your schedule the way that you want to do it, whatever works best for you. You can pause and rewind this as you need to get those dates again, but that's all the dates that you would need and the times that you would need. I would put for, as I said, table work / read through days, I would list that. Q to Q, I would list tech. Like those titles help your actors and your tech in terms of knowing what's going on those days. So, sign in. You do your production, you do the date. So this sign in would be for a performance. So do, let's say, February 25th. We'll do February 25th. So February 25th by, you're the stage manager, page 1 of 1, because we don't have that many actors, right? You put the name and address and phone for each of the actors that you have the audition sheets for, and remember you've got 5. Don't put their social security, you don't need to worry about that. And all they would do when they come in is they would just initial next to their name. So you just make up do their initials as if they signed in. Okay? Deck moves. So this is where you would go back to the script. Again, you'll put your production, Hunk Jr., today's date, or whatever date you end up doing this form, by you, page. You're probably only going to need the 1 page. There weren't that many set changes. So the scene / the cue, so you're going to put, was this the change at the end of scene 1? Was this change at the end of scene 2? And then which number is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Item. So these are the things that are getting moved and where they're moving to. Okay? So you might have scene 1, Q1, and you might have this row and this row both be scene 1, Q1. Okay? Because you're like, these items get moved off, like the nest and the eggs. These items get moved on, like the table and the tool, the workbench and the pot and the etc. for the cat's lair, right? So you would go through each of the different scene changes that I talked about yesterday. So you'd look through for all of the deck moves that you did. And then you would write down the things that I said that got moved, either on or off, and where they're getting moved on or off. Cool? Cool. So you would do that based on the information that you got yesterday. Costume plot. So this is yours to do. I wish that I could, well, I guess I actually can. Boop. There we go. I'll have to flip it back after I get off this page. But here we go. So the costume plot. You put the production, Hunk Jr., the date that you do this form, by, your name, page, let's just say 1 of 1. So I would put ugly here. So ugly, costume changes and variations. So ugly, scene 1 through, whatever, has just his, gray schoolboy. And then at whatever scene he changes, you would write down, he changes into his white schoolboy swan. And then none of the other characters undergo changes. Okay? So really, you're going to put their names, but they don't actually change costume. So this is more important if you've got a show where there's a lot of costume changes. What I would say is if you were the stage manager for the real show of Honk, okay, that's a lie. Here's what I want. Here's what I want. Everybody that's not ugly is going to have a costume change for the bullfrog scene because they're all going to become bullfrogs. And every character that's not ugly, cat, or Ida is also going to have a costume change where they have to put on white clothes in order to be the snow. So you would put every character that's in the show, and then you would put scene 1, all of their regular character costumes. Then whatever scene it is that the the frogs show up, you would put that scene and then you would put frog costume. And then if they turn into something else in between frog and snow, you would put that scene and then back into their normal costume. And then whatever scene the snow is in, you would write that up here, and then you would put snow costume. And then after that, you would put, the scene right after the snow, and you would put their regular costume. Okay? So put every character and treat it as though every character except for Ugly will be a frog for the frog scene, and every character except for Ugly, Cat, and Ida will be Snow. Okay? All right. So that is yours to do. Let me turn this back to the correct. There we go. Dressing notes. I gave you 2 of these. So I want you to pick any 2 different characters. So don't pick like Beaky and Billy because they've got the same costume. So pick like Ugly and, Ida, or Cat and Drake, or Turkey and Henrietta. Whatever you feel like. But do 2 of these, 1 for each of those characters. So production, that's your, Hunk Jr. Date, whatever date you do this. By, that's you. Page 1 of 2, because you're just doing the 2. Normally you would do everybody, but whatever. So you'll write right here the character. So if you're doing Ugly, you would write Ugly. Act, and you're just going to put, you're going to do just 1 because this is a 1 act. And then scene, you'll put 1 through 6 or whatever because he's got, a costume change that happens at scene 6. Major garments, you decide. What is he wearing? I want something that makes me think Gosling. So, not Gosling, Signet. So they start off as these little gray, ugly birds. So maybe a gray vest, maybe a gray or a white shirt, whatever it is you want to do. Outerwear, that would be like jackets, if you wanted a jacket on him. Hat, I would definitely put a hat on him. I like the page boy look, which is like a newspaper, like a newsy kind of hat. And then obviously you want to keep in whatever your color scheme is. Undergarments and hosiery, do you want him to have hose? Do you want him to have socks, like a little schoolboy with like knee-high socks? That would be there. Footwear, that's shoes. So is there anything specifically shoes that he needs to be wearing? Wigs, he probably doesn't need a wig. Don't put a wig on him. Jewelry and accessories, if you really feel like you need something, cool. If you wanted like suspenders or if you wanted suspenders or something like that, you could put suspenders there. And then dressing notes is just like, does he need to wear his white costume underneath this costume? Some pieces of it you could maybe, but they've also given time for a quick change. So, but if there's special notes that an actor needs to know, that's where you would put those. So that would be like if I was doing Uglies, you could then do Uglies' second costume if you wanted, where he turns into a swan and lay out what he's changed into, or you can do a different character and same kind of idea. Okay, cool. Fitting for a female. That link for that video is still up if you want, but basically you're going to put the name of one of the actresses that we gave you in the acting sheet. We're going to give you, you're going to write down their phone. You're going to decide who they're cast as, so you can decide who Autumn, who she played. Write down these sizes for these. You can decide what size, I think her height and weight are listed on her sheet, so use those. Ring size, just put NA. You're not going to, they don't have to wear rings, so you don't need to worry about it. Shoe size, decide what size she is, make it up. Hose tights, don't worry about that. Dress size, let's say she's a 3. Skirt, that would be, for skirt, blouse, bra, and pants, I don't want you to worry about those, okay? Then the measurements, take measurements. you can use your measurements from when we did measurements earlier in the semester and just put those measurements in. If you don't have those measurements already, then find somebody and take those measurements. And remember, we've already done that once, so you should know how to do that. You can reference that assignment in Canvas if you need to rewatch the video and see how that is done. Okay, so you should have the measurements. Don't worry about head, hat, and glove. Okay, just leave those blank. And you don't really need to worry about the notes. Fitting for the male. Same exact thing. Pick one of the male characters, use them. Daniel Radcliffe or Sir Ian McKellen, right? All right, same thing, fill out. Don't worry about their open, full length, or glove on that. You don't need to worry about that for the vest. Okay, cool. If there's any question about one of these where you're like, that wasn't listed on the thing, just leave it blank. Okay. Maintenance notes. So here we go. I'm going to say production is Hunk Jr. We're going to say the date is February 25th, so it's right after the first performance by Your Name, page 1 of 1. And here's what we're going to say. Character actor, this is going to be Sir Ian McKellen. And the designer is you, because you're the designer. And you're going to say garment, and you're going to pick a garment piece, and you're going to decide what kind of, how does it need to be washed, and you're going to put notes / special directions, and we're going to say that Sir Ian McKellen tore the pants on his costume, and they need to be repaired. So you're going to need to put that in the notes right here. That garment would be his pants. Okay, and there you go. That's pretty much the maintenance notes. Easy peasy, right? Cool. Makeup design. Pick 2 characters. I would pick the same characters that you did for your costume design, right? And you're going to production, Hunk Jr. Date is today's date. Whatever date you do this form. By you, page 1 of 2. You'll put the character and the actor, the script age. That's a rough guess. Don't worry about it too much. Designer is you. And then you're going to color pencil or coloring book or, scan it and make colors, what have you. You're going to make up what the stage makeup would be for that character. And base, you're going to be like, I want to start with a white base, or start with a flesh tone base, or start with an orange base, whatever. Highlights, what colors are those? Mediums, low lights, if you've got those. If it's more simple, then it's more simple. Rouge, if you don't have rouge on the character, then you just put none. Lips, what kind of lipstick, if any. Eyes, are you doing anything on the eyes, like mascara or eyeliner? And then body, don't worry about body, because you're not putting makeup on their body. And then hair, don't worry about hair. I don't want you doing anything to their hair. And that's it. So, yeah, so do that twice. One for each of the characters that you design costume for. Make your life easy. So for like the cat, I might decide that the cat is, I want the cat to be a black and white, like a tuxedo cat. So I would say that my base is white and black. My highlights are white. My lowlights are black. My rouge is none. My lips, I want him to have little pink lips, like little pink kitty lips. Eyes, I definitely want eyeliner and mascara, and boom. And then I would just draw that out the way that I wanted it. Cool. Prop breakdown. So I talked about all of the props as we went. So you would put production, Hunk Jr., date, the date, by you, page 1 of 1. And you would go, prop number 1 is the bread. And it's in scene 1. And the notes are, the bread has to be brought on by Maureen and torn apart by the birds. Boom. Prop number 2 would be whatever the second prop was. I think the book, the cookbook maybe. It's in scene 2. Note, the cookbook has to be bigger than it's a large book that the cat uses to, whatever, preset on table. Okay? So you would do that for every one of the props that I listed. There aren't that many props, so it's not that bad. Prop plot. So let me rotate the thing again. Boop. So there we go. So production, Hunk Jr., date, yada yada, you get it now. Number, so you've already done the prop breakdown. So here's where you do the number of the prop as listed the page before. Just a quick, bread, book, ball, what have you. And then the scenes, and what you want to do is scene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're just going to list all of the scenes. And in each category, you're going to write where it is. So if it's off stage, then you need to be off stage left or right. So OSL or OSR, off stage left or off stage right. If it's on stage, then you need to, because if it gets set on stage. So for example, the bread would be off stage left because that is where Maureen goes and gets it from. But the cookbook starts scene 2 on stage. So you decide, where's that set piece coming from? Is it coming from stage left or is it coming from stage right? I don't know. I'm not the tech. I don't care. I just care that it gets on stage. So you would, for scene 2, you would put, but we know that the table was going to be upstage center. So you would say, number 2, book, scene 1, it's off stage left. Scene 2, it's upstage center, because that's where it would be. And you just do that for every one of your props. So that way, technically anybody knows where it should be at any given time. So even though the book only gets used that one time, you would still do OSL if it goes off stage left for all of the rest of the scenes that it's not on stage, just so that way, if anybody needed it for anything, to repair it, to fix it, what have you, they know where to go find it. It's off stage left. Okay, that's the prop plot. Let me rotate my things back. Woo. Prop preset. So that's pretty much the same thing as this. It's just a more concise thing so that way you can put one stage left and one stage right, so that way the people with the prop tables, your prop master, can access this quickly. So production, Hunk Jr., date, yada yada, prop number, and then stage left or stage right. So prop number 1, the bread, will be stage left. So you put 1, bread. 2, book. And then if the ball is stage right, 3, ball, right? So just at the beginning of the show, your assistant stage managers or prop masters can look. The stage left person can look and be like, yes, 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 that's all there. And the stage right stage manager can go, yes, 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 that's all there. Boom. So, good. That's that. Prop running list. This is just a little bit more in detail. So again, production, Hunk Jr., all that stuff. The prop, its starting position, its ending position. So where does it end up when it's done? And then notes. So notes are things like, for example, the net. The net prop starts, let's say, stage right, because somebody has to throw it off stage onto Ugly. It ends center stage, so it's left on stage. Ugly doesn't take it off stage, and the cat doesn't take it off stage. So then in the notes, what you need to put is, tech needs to grab net during scene change. So notes are things like, does it need to be taken off by a tech? Note would also be thrown by tech, which we have happen twice. We have a net and a ball that get thrown by tech off stage, right? So thrown by tech, retrieved by tech during set change would be a note. Okay, so take your props, do that for each one of them. The next one is the cue sheet. So that's your lighting cue sheet. So you're going to go through the script that you wrote, all of those LC number 1, LC number 2, LC number 3, and you're going to write them all down in the order that they were done. The count, put 3 for every count except for if I said slow. If I said I wanted a slow fade, put, let's say 8 seconds. So there are a couple of things that I said slow fade. Those should be 8 seconds instead of 3. All that means is it's how quickly the light changes. So if you go 1, 2, 3, and now the light is up. Versus if you go 8, then it's like this is the light dark, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's just about how long it takes for the light to get to the light change that you've done. Okay. Scene, that's what scene it happens in. Taken on, so that's the line or the action that happens that starts that cue, and then a description. So blue wash, dim blue wash, red wash, right? So yeah, spot, all of that. So you'll go through every one of the lighting cues that I gave you. You make sure that there's a list for that. Follow spot cues. There were a couple of times that I said spot so-and-so. Now you're going to go ahead and put that up here too, but then you're also going to take any of the cues that I said are spots, and you're going to do this too. So you're going to go, the Q5 is our first spot. Q8 is our first spot. What scene and page does it happen on? Action. So basically who they're spotting, because I did a person on every, well, or a net. So action, spot, Ida. Action, spot, ugly. Action, spot, net, right? So you're just telling them what action they're taking with the spotlight. Intensity, I think I had full intensity for everyone, so just put 100%. Iris, don't worry about it. That's just how large or small the light would be. And honestly, I would have the spot cue operator put that up. And then color, I did say on some of those where I wanted a regular spot or a blue spot. So write down the color. And the notes are, specifically like if there's an end to it, that would be a good place to put the note there. So end after song, or end when she exits, or cuts off when the farmer leaves, right? Cool. So those would be your follow spot cues. Sound cues, production, date, yada yada. So this one, it's all of those sound cues that we went over. Same thing. Cue number 1 through whatever, they go in order. Page number, what page do they happen on? Description, is it a sound effect or is it one of the songs? Okay. If it's a song, put the song title. If it's a sound effect, put what the sound effect is. Cue word, so I would do like 1 or 2 words, but what cue, when does that start? Length, don't worry about the length. And level, just do 100% on everything. Speed, don't worry about the speed. That would be if we were speeding up or slowing down a cue, and we're not going to do that. And length, you don't need to worry about the timing off of that. So we use QLabs or another program that forgot its name for whatever, Multiply, and you don't need to worry about the length at that point. It's programmed in. So don't worry about length or speed. Level is 100% because I'm not changing the sound levels on this, and the rest of that is just that. Boom. Rehearsal log. So you've got these. We're going to do a mock rehearsal log real quick. So production is the production. The date, let's say that this is the rehearsal for, let's say, December 29th. Okay, so this is December 29th's rehearsal. Page 1 of 1, because it's just the one. Scheduled time is 6 to 9. Actual time, let's say that we didn't get started until 6:07 because let's say Daniel was late. Okay, so 6:07 to 9:02. Stage manager is you, director is me. in attendance, everybody that's in attendance. If there's somebody that listed a conflict for December 29th, you just write missing that person. Okay? Scene, let's say that that day we got to run scenes 2, 2 and 3. We ran scene 2 from 6:07 to let's say 7:45. So whatever that total is, I'm not going to do the math right now. You can do it. You're the stage manager. That's your job. And then scene 3, we started at 7:50 because we took a 5-minute break, and then we stopped at 9. Okay, and then the total, I guess that one's an hour and 10 minutes. So yeah, and you don't need to do any more than that because those are the only 2 scenes we ran. If we were running a bunch more scenes, then you would do all of those scenes. That's all we did. And right here, you're just going to put blocking, scene 2, and scene 3. Okay? Because that's what we did. Props. List whatever props are in scene 2 and scene 3. Because this is the first time that we've run scene 2 or scene 3 in our imaginary rehearsal process. So write down the props as we talked about them. So, for example, the cookbook. Cookbook for cat needs to be larger than life. Baseball needs to be thrown on by Tech and hit cat in the head. That's important for the people that are making the props to know that this has to hit an actor in the head. So that doesn't need to be a real baseball, right? It needs to clock the cat in the skull and not give him a concussion. So baseball thrown on, hits cat in head. So that way our props master can be looking at these rehearsal reports as we're coming up on props and going, okay, that's what that prop is, that's what it needs to do. Nice. So do that for all of scene 2 and scene 3. Lights. All of the scene 2, scene 3 light cues. You don't need to write down all the cues, but what you do need to write is if there were any specials, like we need blue lights for this, we need orange lights for this, we need... So basically so that the lighting crew can know what kind of special stuff needs to be done. Sets, you need to talk about the table, you need to talk about the pot, you need to talk about, etc. Sounds, any of the sound effects, so pre-recording the boy and the girl from off stage, the window shattering, anything that's not a music cue that's already pre-recorded, you would need to write that down. Okay. Costumes, if there were any special costume notes that were made, which there weren't in this instance, so you would just put in A, because we didn't make any special costume notes, I don't think. Yeah, and this would just be an area for any other notes for like crew or actors, etc. And let's say there aren't for this rehearsal. So there you go. Now you filled out a rehearsal report. Okay. I think I gave you guys 2. If I gave you 2, then what I want you to do is create another one for yourself. Pick out your own date and decide what scenes you ran and if there was anything that was going on and any of the stuff that updated. So be creative. Sign in. We already did a sign in. Don't worry about this form. You don't need it. So take it out of your stage manager handbook and throw it away. All right. So those are all the forms. That is how to do all of those different forms. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So yeah, at this point then, the bulk of it is just sitting down and doing it. So tomorrow's video will be much briefer because I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about the Stage Manager Handbook as a whole project. And then that is your last one for the week. You do have a Google form, and the Google form is going to be the Google form is going to ask you a question about a couple of these forms and what you had to do, just again to make sure that you were paying attention, that you watched the video. So make sure you fill out that Google form and get that turned in so that way I can get your attendance done for today. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Bye-bye.